Hello, welcome to Non-Dual Christianity. This video will focus on what is salvation, or the gospel, the good news, in the non-dual context. We'll also explore not only what salvation means, but what that means as far as the idea of sin, hell, Jesus, and this whole question of what do we do between now and when we die. The salvation message is really fairly simple from a non-dual view. You are God. Not only are you God, but everyone is God. Your essence is God, is the very divine nature, which is fantastic because unlike so many other religions which try to help you solve how to get to God, right, which try to answer the question, what's wrong with me and how do I fix it? The non-dual says, no, you already are God. So there's nothing to do. There's nothing to change, nothing to get, nowhere to get, nothing to improve. There is nothing that is separate about your essence. That unity you long for, being with God in His very presence, to experience what that looks like, the fullness of being, it's already available to you because you are the divine essence. Peace, joy, bliss of being, it's already yours. It's already you. So why then don't we see this? Why don't we experience this all the time? Why is it so hidden? Well, the basic point would be that we're misidentified. We believe ourselves to be something other than what we truly are. And this misidentification, this false identity, is what we could call the ego identity. That's our personality. That's our limited self, our form. The thoughts that go through our mind, the voice in our head, whoever you believe yourself to be, that is your ego identity. And the problem is when you're in this identity, you feel separate. You feel unworthy. You feel less than the divine because it's a shallower layer. It's a more condensed form than the divine essence. So then sin is really not so much something that has created a chasm between you and God, not something that has corrupted you or somehow, made it so that you cannot get to God without help, something to be fixed. Sin is simply misidentity. It's suffering because you think that you're your thoughts or the voice in your head. And hell, therefore, becomes there's no such thing as an eternal hell because there can't be separation between you and the divine, much less an abandonment. So then Jesus, He was fully awake to His divine nature. He testified to His divine nature. He talked about how the Father was in Him. He then also turned around and talked about how He was in each of us, how the Spirit was in each of us, to encourage us to stop judging good and evil. There's other hints of this, being the kingdom of heaven. It's present. The kingdom of God is within you. It's among you. It's here. Even back in Genesis, when the Bible speaks about us being created in the image of God, all of these are hints to this divine reality that Jesus testified to. And His resurrection was proof that His claims were valid. It was proof that He wasn't just some sort of a madman or a lunatic who could say anything that He wanted to say, but by Him being resurrected, it proved there is life that is deeper than death. There is something more than just a material existence, and when you die, you're finished. So it validated His claims to this divine nature, holding all things together within each of us as each of us. So the idea then, this sanctification process, or what do you do now, from this point forward until you die, is really about trying to transcend suffering, trying to transcend this misidentification with your ego, to fully experience and realize your divine essence. But unlike some versions of Christianity, even, or some versions of religion, where once you transcend, once heaven gets here, you're done. You're trying to escape. You're trying to get out of this world, out of this current existence. It's really about bringing that realization back down into every day. Being able to live each and every ordinary day, but without the suffering, without believing the stories and the misidentification. and therefore being able to take whatever life has to offer and be able to experience the peace, joy, and bliss of being in the midst of that. Thank you so much for exploring with me today.